Hey y'all, it's Gemini Jazz with House of Chiron, and I'm just here for the good news, honey. And we are back again with another episode of Galactic Gossip. So, let's talk about this week, honey. Okay, so from today, October 27th, all the way through November 2nd, um, we have a few things going on, but they are like major things, right? So, we have, of course, everyone knows that Mercury is going retrograde on Halloween. We also know that today is the new moon in Scorpio, right? So let's just start with that. Let's start with the new moon in Scorpio. So this new moon in Scorpio is making an opposition with Uranus and Taurus, right? We all know that Uranus and Taurus has been shaking things up, throwing unpredictable situations in our path to kind of challenge us to reevaluate our values, the things that we want, our desires, our possessions, how we make our money, our relationships. It's just been kind of like shaking things up, changing the dynamic, right? So this new moon is in an opposition. It's the complete opposite sign of Taurus, which is Scorpio. And it's the sun and the moon in a conjunction together in Scorpio. And so the sun and moon are coexisting, right? So it is the matters of the head and the heart coexisting together to bring some illumination, to bring some transformation, to give us this benefic moon to create these new intentions regarding the things that we value, regarding the things that we desire on the most deepest level, right? Our heart's desires. And what is happening, especially over this weekend. So I always look at the new moon or any moon, new moon or even the full moon. The energy begins 3 days before the actual moon illuminates in that, and 3 days after, you can still feel the energies. So let's just say over the course of this weekend, we have been experiencing these energies, and it's been a build up, right, up until the point where this new moon happens. And it happens tonight at 10:38 Central Standard Time, right? I'm in Texas. So it's been a buildup of this energy, right? And depending on where this is happening in your chart, you could be feeling it on an emotional level or on a more mental level or even on a physical level, depending on where this is happening. But it's been showing us these things that we need to release in order to bring forth this newness, right? So showing us different connections, throwing people in our path, like over the weekend, whether it's old people that we've been in affiliation with or someone new possibly coming back or coming up or whatever. And just kind of giving you this evaluation phase of like making you pay attention, right? And this is kind of like the checkpoints. It's like it's making you, like if you're in a race kind of thing and you got to go. Y'all remember when we played Mario Kart or whatever the little card games when we were kids, and you, in order to get to the finish line, you had to go to these checkpoints and you had to beat the checkpoints by a certain time or else you just didn't win. Think of this energy that way. Like this is all about the checkpoints. Like we've gotten to these checkpoints and it's like, okay, this is a reevaluation checkpoint. Like, let's see, what is your timing like? What is this area looking like? Can we move on to the next thing? Kind of, it's that kind of energy. And so what it's doing is allowing us and is forcing us to focus on what's best. It's allowing us and forcing us to look at what's best for us. What is it that we truly desire? Focusing on the positivity, recognizing the things that we don't want, but not necessarily harping on it, but recognizing and releasing, because it's like a quick release. It's a quick, like, I see what that is, bye kind of thing. Because now we have like newness coming in. So today and into the night, it is a grand time to set new intentions. It is a time to manifest and think and meditate on what it is that you want to create in your life. 2020 is right around the corner, literally, right? And 2020 is not going to look nothing like anything. It's a whole new, like it's 2020. So That's the new moon. Keep in mind that this is in Scorpio. Scorpio is all about um, transformation, death, whether it's literal or figuratively, whatever. The death of an old way of thinking, way of living, way of being, transforming, leveling up, elevation, higher consciousness. Scorpio is the psychologist of the sign, right? And so, with that being said, it's basically going through our emotions, evaluating our emotions so we can gain understanding of those emotions. So that way we can integrate new things with what we have now gained understanding. It's really doing this psychologist therapy kind of thing, where it's forcing us to question, what is it that I'm feeling? Why am I feeling this? And how can I allow this feeling or this emotion or the situation to help me grow and expand? And that's what's happening with all of this energy, right? So the new moon is giving us an opportunity. It's like the last checkpoint before you reach the finish line kind of thing. It's giving us an opportunity to release and create all at the same time, because Scorpio is all about transformation. So it's allowing us to be able to transform while we are transforming into something new. We're transforming out of the old into something new. So I think that's all the notes I have for the new moon. But talk about Thursday, Mercury goes retrograde. And I know Mercury gets a bad rep going retrograde. Like, don't be scared. It ain't, come on, like, relax. Yes, we know exes can come back. Yes, we know that. Yes, we know that there's going to be issues with communication and technology, email, text messaging. And, later on this week, I'm going to create a blog. I'm going to post it on Thursday when Mercury goes retrograde, maybe Wednesday night, giving you some tips and tricks and tools on how to survive Mercury retrograde, because it ain't that crucial. It ain't that bad. It's fine. I'm a Gemini. I have Mercury in Gemini. So I also have a Mercury, or not Mercury, I have a Gemini stellium. So I have a lot of that energy. So you would think I would be nervous as hell, but I ain't, because it's all about cycles and flow and ebb and flow. It's all about your cycles and motion, like knowing what you're doing, when you're doing, how to do it. So I will be posting that regarding Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. But it will be a spooky time. I will say that, because Scorpio gets you to the depths of the depths, like the deepest parts, the darkest parts, right? It's like going into the abyss. And Mercury going retrograde is in a review. It's always in a review of the way you communicate, the way you think, the way you process thought, the way you speak. And with this, it's kind of like, along with this energy, the Mercury going retrograde, as well as this new moon energy, this is all that portal activation that's happening. It's like that that eclipse that happened from the end of the end of June, early July. So eclipse season over the summer, this is activating that energy. All of this is activating that energy. So any intentions that you had set end of June, early July, around that solar eclipse, and you probably set the intention, you probably began something, but it never came to fruition. Well, this is the culmination point of that. Things are going to start manifesting from that time, right? And so, although we might be having issues with media, and I'm sure you have been already experiencing it, because I know I have, like my phone, my computer, like it's a brand new computer. Like just last night I was doing an event and it just like shut off on me. And I'm just like, what is this about? Whatever. But it's fine. Clearly it works. It's just Mercury doing this thing, right? And so think of this as a good time for introspection. It's a good time for you to go internal and go deep, right? Feel all the feels and understand the feelings. Understand where they're coming from. Find out where they are coming from. Do that psychologist thing, you know, where you dig deep and you ask yourself those questions. Why is this happening? Why is this feeling this way? What can I do about this? How can I turn this around? Kind of thing. Ask yourself questions. Review your past, literally, mentally and emotionally. Review your past. Tie up those loose ends. Okay? Tie them up. Let it be done, right? Allow this to give you clarity. Allow yourself to receive the clarity that you need to push forward and not going backwards, right? Because that's what a retrograde is about. It's about a review. It's about going backwards. It's about experiencing what you've already experienced so you can complete the lesson, kind of thing. And so this is forcing us, it's in Scorpio, is forcing us to not just tap into our mind on a surface mental level, but it's diving deep into our psyches, right? Because the 8th house is of the psyche, karma, all those things, the deepness. And so it's forcing us to dive deep into our psyche and getting to the core of things. Like I said, figuring it the hell out, right? And not only that, we have Venus in this conjunction as well. And so that's bringing up old issues in relationships, right? So with Venus being there, with Mercury going retrograde, you might have some disagreements. You might have some misunderstandings regarding relationships during this time. And this is coming up so you can reevaluate your communication and your understanding within the relationship, your values, what it is that you truly want within these relationships that you have, whether it's platonic, intimate, whatever, relationships, right? So it's also going to give us a chance to reflect on our finances. How have we been managing our money? How have we been making our money, our possessions, the things that we have, the things that we want to have, our heart's desires and our values, the things that we value, the things that we no longer value, the things that are not working for us anymore in these Venusian aspects with this conjunction in Mercury. We're going to be able to actually communicate that and process that on a more mental, deep psychology level to understand why this isn't working for us anymore, or even to understand what it is that we now want going forward, giving us the tools to make the change, right? So also think about debt, joint finances. During this time, you might be finding new ways, new innovative ways, because like I said, with this whole new moon in opposition to Uranus, you might be having some innovative ways into finding solutions to clearing debt, or even understanding your joint finances on a deeper psyche kind of level. So let's see. What are my notes? I have so much. Balance. Okay. So yes, we are going to be able to balance and see things clearer. We're going to be able to sit with this energy and revise our plans that we have had, the plans that we have set. We're going to be kind of internalizing all of it, processing it, so that way when Mercury comes out of retrograde, we can actually put it in motion. Like we're going to be here mostly, but once it's done, we're going to be able to integrate that into action. So also with Venus being there, there will be a chance of having healthier conversations with people. It's not going to be as tense, although we do have this square with Mars and Saturn right now, and that does bring frustration. You might be frustrated, but Venus is there, and we also have the sextile with Neptune and Pluto and Saturn, and that is helping us kind of, it's bringing some beneficial energy to help us speak and work through these changes that are needed to be made right now. So we do have Venus moving into Sagittarius on Friday. So the Venus conjunction with Mercury is only going to last Thursday. And that's it. Right? So we do have Venus moving into Sagittarius on Friday. So that is going to broaden things, right? Broaden our the things, like we have been in this phase of understanding what we want with the possessions and the relationships and how we make our money and all these things, right? But now we are going to be moving Venus into a Sagittarius, which is a fire sign. So we're going to be able to act on these things. We now have an understanding of what we want. Now we're going to be able to integrate and apply, right? And move into what it is that we desire. We're going to be expanding on our connections with other people. And also, this could bring improvement in relationships because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is benefic, gives gifts, and so with that, it's like we are going to be taking what we have been learning throughout this time and what we have been reevaluating with our desires and what we want within all these areas, and allowing Jupiter to give us the tools to move into and make it happen, right? Manifesting and creating it. So I think that's all I have for Galactic Gossip. I hope y'all enjoyed this. If y'all want to know how any of this energy is working with y'all in your personal chart, please hit me up. My information can be found in my bio. And hit me up, reach out. All of the good things. So y'all have a beautiful week. Remember, nothing happens to us. Everything happens for us. And I'm just here for the good news, right? Y'all have a good one. Bye.